Namaste. So many of us are looking for enlightenment. Before we get enlightenment, first let's understand what is enlightenment. Whether we've read a book, watched some videos, or directly experienced meeting the divine, to the best knowledge of the human capacity, we put this video together and attempt to share what exactly that is you are looking for. We can't find the destination if we don't know what we are looking for. So in my previous videos that I actually explained the common path that I embrace, that I admire and respect, apart from the different religions that is available, Buddhism and then Hinduism, these two system comes into my attention throughout a lifetime journey. And you can go to the details from my previous two videos, the Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path that helps to cultivate the wisdom, develop a discipline and ethical conduct. So as the similar paths, the Hinduism in India that they practice on a daily basis, the 8 limbs of yoga system. And today we're going to talk about jhana. To understand what enlightenment is, you will need to understand what jhana is. Jhana, under the Theravada Buddhism system, it differentiates jhana through this 8 state of concentrated meditative experience. It simply refers to the deep concentration as one-pointed focus that you master and you absorb darkness. Let's look at what are the 8 levels of jhana is. In my previous videos or in my past love circle, if you have joined us, we simply say jhana refers to knowledge. And jhana in the Buddhism teaching, it actually refers to absorption, as when one concentrates in his or her meditation state. Level 1 is the quietness that is secluded from sense pleasure. If you recall the 8 limb of yoga, jhana is number 8, level of bliss. So when you pass through the first 7 stages of practice through different lifetimes, you come to meditate. When you can sustain your meditation, you begin to experience samadhi. So jhana simply refers to the samadhi experiences. Level 1 of jhana, or we may say it's level 1 of samadhi. It's the quietness that derive from or that exclude the sense of pleasure. When I say the sense of pleasure, is that we're not desire in looking for the physical beauty. We're not desiring food. We're not desiring sexual pleasure. So your sighting, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, these 5 sense organs will be absorbed, not shutting down, but will be absorbed. And this one point of focus will allow you to experience applied and sustained thought with happiness. So peace is the part of this. Joy is part of this. And some of the meeting God experience is also part of the jhana experience. And so we will have this sustained thought thoughts of happiness. So you feel happiness. This is jhana level 1. As you persist with your meditation, what happens in the next level? This silence continue to sustain. However, the applied and sustained thought will disappear. You no longer experience thought. So the one point of the focus continuously to be enhanced. And you can sit for a long period of time, silence sustained. And this silence continue to develop and evolve as you rising towards to jhana 3. Jhana 3 is this equanimous and mindful sphere that you drowse in pleasure. It's consistent pleasure. And the rapture phase. The rapture is this burst of sensations of joy, if I may say, if I may attempt to explain what this might be. So consider that you sit here quietly with yourself without sustained thoughts, silence persistent, and the pleasure persists as well. As the pleasure persists, you gain pure equanimity. You reach level 4. Level 4, you can see it states neither pleasure nor pain. And this is very important. Neither pleasure nor pain. And this is where the differentiation comes from all our physical experiences. In my previous video, when I explained the non-duality versus many of this enlightening experience, those enlightening experiences create joy, bliss, comfort, peace, love, meeting God or divine, all of those experiences. Now the human body begins to think that I know what's God. I know the divine. I am the divine. I can share people my experiences, and my experience is correct. So your experience may be not. Let's relax on that for a little bit more, because all experiences are valid. When you reach level 4 jhana, there's no more pleasure. So all of you feel your experiences with God, meeting divine, out of body, or through meditation, all number of things, you name it. It's not it. Because those experiences happens when you have the awareness, when you actually realize the pleasure. But in 4th jhana, it's pure equanimity. There's no more pleasure, no more pain. And this is a very significant transformation, a step in meditation when you sustain silence, sustain pleasure. So 1 to 4, these 4 levels, you are still sitting in the material world. Once you pass level 4, you're passing from rupa jhanas, rising to arupa jhana. You are entering the formless realm. So what happens in stage 5? You are experiencing this infinite space, expansiveness, vastness, endless, infinity, infinite. There's no form, there's no perception, there's no diversity. As you continue to sit in the space, this infinite space, you experience the infinite consciousness. you continuously just expand. The world will come in you, and you can go anywhere. If you direct your attention to one dot, that one dot can become the universe. That's what happens when you delve in the sphere of infinite consciousness. Everything is possible. But remember, once you reach above level 5, there's no more pleasure, no more pain. And as the infinite consciousness persists, you dwell in nothingness. So nothingness sometimes is the stage that we attempt to take people in, and do differentiate this nothingness to what people say in the hypnosis therapeutic experience. People say nothing, there's nothing. It's not that there is nothing, but the mind perceives there's nothing because the mind expects something happen. That nothingness is different to this nothingness. This nothingness in jhana level 7 is a highly elevated state where mind does not actually even come here. This can only be perceived when you sit for a prolonged period of silence time with yourself, including past lives practice all coming together. Once you sustain in the nothingness place, you reach neither perception nor non-perception. When you reach this state, there's nothing you can talk about, because the divine cannot be explained by human language. Our words are very limited in explaining the highest high. We can merely put into a proper description to describe what that is, because anything can be explained. It's within the sphere of the human mind. The words are the parts that we put into sentence. Everything that can be put into sentence can be put on paper, in writing, in your language. It's a limit. It has its own limit because it's physical. It has a form. It has sound. It can be seen. This is all the limitation of the human body. So what will happen after level 8? Do we stop? Do the master stop? My understanding is no. It's this energy would evolve, continuously evolves itself. So above number 8, you cannot talk about experience. You reach that rupa jhana, beyond the form, beyond material, beyond the system, beyond the method, beyond perception. Then you reach enlightenment. Some call it nirvana samadhi, so the highest high level of samadhi, or others call it nibbana. It's the same thing. Well, some call it the enlightenment. It's really, really the same thing. When you reach that level, all number of this disturbance human would experience, the 10 fetters that bind beings to the cycle of samsara, will cease. That is, one finishes his or her earthly journey. In a way, he or she finishes his or her karma. She may come to assist humans in a different form, or she may be born as an avatar because she's finished all of her karma, her learning, masters, all number of things, could have all these city powers, you name it. So all of these 10 hindrances, to name it, they are self-illusion, attachment to rites and rituals. So you can see how this is different to the lower lower realm, the physical realm's practice, because the physical body may follow a god, follow a system. They do prayer, they do puja, they do dancing, they do singing, they do meditation, yoga practice, all number of things. Once you reach enlightenment, you do not need to practice any of this. This is the key difference to bear in mind. And of course, all desires would have been absorbed. Recall what I initially said about jhana. Jhana refers to the discrete stage of deep concentration and absorption. Okay, absorption is all of desires will be absorbed, so as the essential pleasures and desire for material existence. This is the common struggle people are experiencing. If I don't have a house, I'm not happy. If I don't have a wife, I'm not happy. If I don't have children, I'm not happy. Let that go. This is all absolutely temporal and a total illusion. Next, the desire for immaterial existence also disappear. Recall in my previous video that I shared about the different kind of enlightening experience, and people began to desire that more and more. I want that euphoric experience. I want to meet God more. And that desire will also disappear. Therefore, I said in the previous video, those experiences of the divine, it's not it. You have a taste of God, but that itself is not God. It's the manifestation of God. It's a very little flavor that you actually received or experienced. So this desire of your immaterial existence also needs to be gone. Of course, the conceit, your restlessness, your doubts and ignorance, all number of this human hindrance, this mind clutters were completely being absorbed. There's no more question. There's no more doing. There's no more achievement. And you arrive to the place of non-dual. As we explained before, there's no more bliss or dismay. So once you pass level 4, the pain and the pleasure both being absorbed. And then you enter the infinite space, infinite consciousness, and infinite nothingness. And finally, you arrive in the space of neither perception nor perception. Now, if you look at Jim Newman's teaching on YouTube channel or Adrian Muller's, these two modern teachers, they speak Western language, English, so you can understand the language can be really, really very, very dry. And Jim Newman, he does not give any space for you to have any kind of illusion, which is quite, in a way, is quite profound, but it may or may not be suit you. So you use the lower jhana tools. You practice whatever religious teachings or follow a teacher. Now use those tools to help you climb higher. So those tools are your ladders. Until you reach high, you still need certain tools to help yourself to hold space for yourself. Otherwise, you experience this imbalance. Yes, so we have to find a way to balance the physical life and the spiritual life. Both are in one. Both are one. If you can live your life in monastery, in ashram, in the temple, but you go to the bank, you buy food, you go to the restaurant, you go to work, earn $5, $10, $1,000, you have problem with that, then you have not actually understand this oneness. You say oneness, you say you are one, you experience the divine when you sit in meditation, when you do chanting, when you do puja. But when you go out into the domain, into the world, you are not one. Then you actually have not understood oneness properly. Oneness is everywhere. Everything is one. The working, earning a wage is the same as your meditation, as in doing puja. Don't discriminate money. Money is not evil at all. Money is merely a tool or currency to exchange energy. You got to see your life very, very clearly. Don't get caught up by some of the sentence, some of the master's realization. The master's realization, for example, say, neti neti, not this, not that. They are not sadhana. They are not your daily spiritual practice. Sending children to school, pick them up, they are your sadhana. Cooking a meal for your family, that's your sadhana. It's not necessarily doing yoga, meditate, following the monk, learn scripture, learn ancient texts, wisdom. The wisdom comes from your daily life. The wisdom comes from acceptance, comes from forgiveness, comes from loving yourself, comes from spending time in nature, comes from the very, very small things that you do every single day. Often, some of the people, my clients may say, I don't have big thing. I only got this small thing. And this small thing is when somebody said this to me, saying there's no God, it really gets me. It really, really irritates me. Or the opposite. When somebody said there's God, or it irritates me. Or when this spiritual group, somebody post a post saying that female are more spiritually advanced. This irritates me. Settling down a little bit and relax a little bit. All of this happens in the sphere of the material world. In this material world, Joe Dispenza called the quantum consciousness field. In the quantum field, everything's possible. That is, the humans speaks different language, use different words, come out with different sentences, different opinions, different ideas. They all exist because this manifestation, this existence, this appearance, they are all part of consciousness. They are part of consciousness. They are part of the bodily experience. And so now you have a better understanding about jhana, about non-dual, about this different level of absorption. Are we ready for enlightenment? Contemplate on this. Neither bliss nor pain. Neither bliss nor pain. Start from this moment onward. My piece of sentence today would be focus on the right path. Focus on the right path. Don't be deterred by the concepts of non-dual, of enlightenment that is different to what you think enlightenment might be. Becoming God, it's a fancy idea. It's a incredible concept that draws all kinds of people in. But if you know, now you know this is jhana, there's no pleasure, so no pain. The mind immediately say, oh, that's boring. I don't want to go there. And be okay with that. If you don't want to go there, that's totally fine, because this body may not be designed for enlightenment. So be it. And how many people truly attain enlightenment in a body? Countable, right? All the enlightened beings, perhaps if we go on Google, you look for them, it's not more than 100 people. So we come back to focusing on your own path, on the right path. If you are not on the right path, then ask the universe to show you the right path. Remember, if you ask, you shall find the right path. And then you follow that. The right path is bliss. So you continuously follow your bliss, follow your silence. And then you just keep on coming, rising to higher jhana. May all sentient beings be free from suffering. Namaste.